Hi, in this video we'll demonstrate how to install and configure a Dogtag 10 Tomcat instance which contains a CA and KRA using the new PKI spawn installation utility. First of all, you have to be on Fedora 18 and you have to be a root user in order to complete the installation. First thing you want to do, of course, is get all the packages. All the packages are currently installed, but if you were to get the packages for the CA and the KRA, you'd need PKI CA, PKI KRA, theme package, Dogtag PKI server theme, which contains all of the UI parts of each of the CAs of the Java components, as well as the components for the console. And finally 389 DS base, which contains the 389 directory server, which needs to be used for the internal database. So we'll go ahead and do that yum update. The first thing we're going to want to do is install a 389 directory server to use for the internal database. And to do that, we're going to run setup ds.pl. I'm going to set it at the default port of 389. And right now the directory server instance will be created on port 389 and will be running at the end of this installation. So now at this point we can start running PKI spawn, and there are many ways to do this, and PKI spawn can be customized in many ways, but ultimately for this installation we're just going to go ahead and use the simplest invocation, which is to run PKI spawn without any arguments. When you do that, it puts you in an interactive mode, and in interactive mode you can do some basic customization and do the most basic type of instance. So in this case we're going to install a CA. We're going to use the default instance name, which is PKI Tomcat. We're going to use the default ports, which are 8080 for the HTTP port. This is a standard Tomcat application port. As well as 8443 for the standard HTTP port, AJP and management port. We're going to use CA admin for the administrator. I'm going to give him a password. We're not going to import a certificate for this particular administrator. The relevance of this will become more apparent when we install a KRA. And finally, we are going to export that certificate to the appropriate place over there. Okay. The directory server instance, port 389, this is the directory server that we currently created for the internal database. We need to provide the bind DN and password. The server will actually check to do a bind and confirm that this user actually exists and can bind with the password. We'll use the standard base DN, and we're going to give this this instance a security domain name. Okay. So now that this is going on, you can actually tail an installation log, which is found under var log PKI. Okay, and you can see it's the latest one that's occurring over there. see all of the different things that are going on. Okay. And in this particular case, the installation is complete. So what happened here was that a Tomcat instance was created in var lib pki tomcat, and is currently running. Some system certificates were created and configured within that instance, and now you have a client database over here with the administrator nickname that you want to use for there. So you can test the status of the instance. In this case, the instance is running. You can restart the instance using system control restart, and to get the URL for the instance, we can go ahead and go to here. So, okay, and that is the CA. We're going to go ahead and use that same instance right now and create a KRA. Okay, we'll use the same instance name. Again, in this particular case, a KRA does not have to coexist within the same instance, but for this particular example, we're going to use that because it's the simplest example to use. So same ports. Okay, we'll use we'll use a different administrator name, but we will import the same certificate so that we will be able to view both the KRA and the CA within the same browser instance, because both of them require client authentication. Okay. Okay, in this particular case, because this is a KRA, it does not have the option to be a security domain. Only CAs can host a security domain, but we're going to point to the security domain of the CA, which in this case turns out to be on the same host at the same secure port. Okay, it then actually went and checked with that security domain, determined that the name of that security domain was test domain, and we of course want to put in the username and password for the administrator that is a security domain administrator on that domain. And it actually checks to confirm that that password is valid, and we can now begin the installation. This will actually be fairly quick because most of the files and everything that have been copied over are essentially there, and you're configuring an existing instance and just adding in a new application within the same deployment. So we should see this come back fairly quickly. And there it is. And that is the end of the installation.